Hello everyone. In this video today we're going to be taking a look at an article from The Hollywood Reporter written by Jeremy Barr that was published on August 21st. Now, this article here is so pathetic on trying to push this false narrative of Trump and his war against the press and his attacking the press and how he incites violence against the press. It's complete propaganda. Jeremy should get, an award for writing a great work of fiction. Amid threats of violence, White House reporter April Ryan fights for the press. So, the thing is, the press can now be called out for their lies, their bullshit, their propaganda, pushing opinion as fact, all of it. They don't like that. And they like the days of when they could say what they wanted about, say, someone in office, and because they controlled the flow of information, they would sit there and keep their mouths shut, and they would play ball, because these people thought that they were the fourth estate, and if they felt, that they were part of government, and that if they were slighted, they had the power to take down those people who slighted them. And now they don't have that, because look at them. They keep going after the president, and people like April, they end up looking like complete and total fools. So now she has to play my victimhood status and talk about how she had to hire security and it's Huckabee's fault. It's pathetic. The CNN contributor says she recently hired a bodyguard on her own dime. Well, if you're a public figure, no offense, and you're saying shit, and you're, when you're trying to say, oh, Trump should be banned because, speech has consequences, because I'm sure you're one of those types. Your speech has consequences. If you open your mouth, talk out your ass, and lie, and it pisses off people, they're going to call you out on it. They might aggressively do it, but I highly doubt your life is in danger. But it would make common sense if you're a public figure to probably have security. If you don't, you're stupid and or cheap. Few reporters have lived the Trump administration's war against the press more vividly than April Ryan, a 21-year veteran of the White House press corps who's seen her national profile grow along with concerns about her physical safety. Fucking wah, fucking wah, fucking wah. You trying to play on people's heartstrings even, even harder here? I mean, you're laying it on a little thick. They've put a target on my head. I've had death threats. I've had craziness, said Ryan, who revealed to The Hollywood Reporter she recently hired a bodyguard to protect her. All I'm going to say for my safety is I have a team. She said the White House should pay for her protection. Oh, fucking wah. Excuse me. When you slander and libel the President of the United States to push your agenda because you don't like that he was elected and people call you out for it, which I'm sure most of it was people calling you out. And what death threats you did get, I highly doubt any of them are credible, if you got any at all. So here you are trying to go, my victimhood status, it's Trump, he's attacking the press, he's created a war on the press, he sent the people after me, feel for me, I want him off Twitter, I want him to pay for my security while I form my mouth about him. It's like, come on now. On September 1st, Roman and Littlefield will publish her new book, Under Fire, reporting from the front lines of the Trump White House. Former Today Show co-host Tamron Hall wrote the book's foreword. Okay, like that really matters. Ryan is scheduled to promote the book on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah this week with George Stephanopoulos and across CNN, the network that employs her as a contributor. Her main gig is covering the White House and Washington for American Urban Radio Networks. Wow. So basically, right before she's hyping, going to be shilling her book and hyping it and pushing it and going, buy it, conveniently, perfect publicity for the reporting from the front lines of the Trump White House, which I'm sure it's a freaking hit piece of a book trying to go after the president and failing miserably. She conveniently has to get security because of the president and his war on the press. Anyone else smell bullshit? Because I smell it so bad that, like, I think it's permeated my skin and I'm never going to get rid of it from reading this. I mean, this is ridiculous. She spoke to The Hollywood Reporter about her contentious relationship with White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders, her public split from ex-friend Omarosa Magnol Newman, and the overall climate of hostility towards the press that President Trump has fostered. Whoa. So, pointing out that you fake news shill pushing, sleazy, scummy pieces of shit are liars and push fake news. That's fostering exposing that is fostering a climate of hostility from the president. No. If you didn't do those things in the first place, if he didn't have to call you out for those things, if people in the alternative media like myself, because I have to at this point consider myself a part of, I wouldn't call myself a journalist, but on the note of I create media. Media is, the creation of it is the press. I have to consider myself a member of the press on that note, even though that's not the proper way to do it, because the press is the actual printing press. So I wouldn't say I am part of the press, because then I'm part of an inanimate object, but you get the idea that I'm trying to put forth here. Because I'm doing that, and I'm calling you out, and he's doing it. It's a war against the press, because in your eyes, you're the only ones that are the press, quote unquote, the press. Because you say it's a war against the press, but he hasn't attacked anyone in alternative media. He's only attacked you fake news pushing shills in the legacy outlets. Ryan alleged that Magnol Newman teased and then promoted a revelation about a tape of Trump saying the N-word because she wanted to distract attention away from Aretha Franklin's failing health and passing as an act of retribution. She did it because Aretha Franklin didn't want her at her birthday party, Ryan said. That's how vindictive Omarosa is. Holy crap! This Ryan, she is delusional. Omarosa, crazy bitch too, which is probably why they were friends at one time, but, crazy bitches don't remain friends for a while. Crazy bitches, because they're crazy, doesn't exactly meld well together, meld together and coalesce into a good, healthy relationship. They don't remain friends for long. Holy shit. She said she's trying to say that Omarosa, who's doing that to try to hype her book, did it because Aretha Franklin didn't want her at her birthday party. God damn, talk about fake news right there. Why did you write the book? What's happening is unprecedented. I'm a member of the press corps, one of the deans of the press corps now. I've been under attack and lied on, treated terribly, and if I don't tell the story, you won't get it. So I'm putting it out there because people see one side of it. I'm giving you the whole thing, the way they've treated me for asking the fair and logical. Oh, wow, we're going to go through this. I'm sorry. They're still very angry at me for asking the question, Mr. President, are you a racist? And that's why I'm on the list. Since when is asking a question of a president making you a criminal or making you an enemy of the people? Well, here's the thing. Let's go through this. See, she's just made it clear here that she feels that she's special. And she doesn't like the fact that she's being shown that she's special ed, that she should be on a short bus wearing a hockey helmet. Because the thing is these legacy media hacks and shills, these propagandists, to them, they believe that they are literally the fourth estate, that they are part of the government, that they are entitled, they are special, that on a class structure, they are above the rest of us. And when the president doesn't allow for them to dictate to him, they get upset about that, because heaven forbid the will of the people. Because see, the press, they honestly believe, as part of this fourth estate, that they shape public opinion, that they control how people vote and how people think and what they believe. And they've lost that ability, because at one time, yeah, to an extent, even to a large extent in certain points, from a historical context, they did have a lot of control over people. It just, whether it be in politics or in other points of view. But there were people who would go out there and do actual research, and you had libraries, and the drive to actually find out facts, when we have this ability to pull them up instantly now, and don't do it, was something that drove them. You know, and because we have this idea, oh, we can just pull it up, we'll buy stupid shit now. And I'm not saying the average, but you know what I mean when it comes to people in general. When it comes to society, I mean that. So the fact that you have that going on, like with the millennial generation, it's not necessarily as bad with the boomers or Gen X people, because we didn't grow up with Google and you know, other search engines right there at our fingertips. You know, we grew up in an era when we had to go to the library, go to the card catalog, the Dewey Decimal System, cross-referencing, you know, with little 3x5, you know, actually they weren't 3x5, but little cards, and look through books and, you know, go through their appendixes and look for keywords that we're looking for and pull information that way. So you look, and you actually are now starting to see, and it's, I got to say this with Gen Z, I got to give them credit, because they're not like the millennials on this note. They actually are searching, and I think it's because they've been fed so much bullshit from birth, and they're not as, the spoon feeding was so hardcore, because they said, well, it worked with the millennials, let's do it even harder with the Gen Z. They did too much of it. But you have this situation where they wanted this control over people, to where how the millennials will buy anything from Vox or BuzzFeed or the legacy media like CNN, MSNBC. They wanted that type of control over the masses, and they don't have it. And it's because they created an environment where they slung so much shit that the boomers and Gen X people went, wait a fucking minute, and the generations between them, because they had to go physically look up stuff, and when you're spewing unbelievable shit, it's hard to get someone who's grown up with that type of environment to take it at face value. And she thinks because she's a dean of the press corps, the fourth estate, that she's even more entitled than the average person in the fourth estate. And she talks about how she's been lied on and treated terribly. Where has that happened? Oh, you want people to read your book. And the way you've been treated for asking if the president was a racist, especially when physical evidence speaks volumes to the contrary. I mean, if you look at all of his years in business, he was pro-minority hiring. He hired, you know, people of color, as you leftist shitbags like to call it, which to me is still racist. Well, you know, you go, well, people of color, that's racist. All you did was flip the words around. So we'll say minorities. He hired minorities and women and, you know, lesbian and gays and so forth for his businesses. One of the things he said was, oh God, was it? He preferred, and I'm trying to think of what position it was, but it had something to do with the hotels, that from his experience, gay men filled the position best. And he preferred to hire gay men for that particular position because they did the better job, in his opinion. You try to portray, oh, he's a racist, he's a bigot, he's a transphobe. You were out of line asking that question. And you try to act like, well, Trump doing this is unique. You know, Teddy Roosevelt had a war with the press. On more than one occasion, because he ran for president more than once. You know? After his first time as being president, he ran under the Bull Moose Party, and he butted heads with the press. Probably worse than Trump. And no, you're on a list for being a fake news pushing shill. Okay, people have you on their shit list, which is the only list, by the way, because of that. It's not the fact that you asked a question of the president, which should be capital, it's a proper noun. All right, asking a question of the president, proper noun. Sorry. But you see, when it was Obama, they followed grammar. That would have been a capital P because they respected Obama. But the thing is it was the what question you asked that pissed off Americans because they were like, that's offensive. And you don't like the fact that people thought it was offensive because you feel that you should be able to do what the hell you want. What is the list you're on? You said you're on. The blacklist, the White House blacklist. Me, CNN chief White House correspondent, Jim Acosta, we're on the blacklist. CNN White House correspondent, Katie Collins, people they don't like. Wow. Are you kidding me? If you didn't talk shit and lie and try to cause problems in doing that, you wouldn't be on this supposed blacklist. See, what they don't understand is they feel that they're entitled to be able to just go to the White House and do whatever the fuck they want. The original intent of the press corps was to allow all media outlets. It wasn't supposed to be, well, you're from there, there, and there, and you should just get carte blanche and, you know, a permanent pass. The intent was so that every outlet could, at some point through a president's terms, whether it's one term or two term, could have access, could ask those questions that their readers or their listeners or their viewers were wondering in their particular part of the country. That was the intent of it. But see, they bastardized all these legacy outlets. They bastardized that, took it over, and they don't like the fact that they're no longer in control. Because those people that are quote-unquote on the blacklist, there are now 3 other people who are covering the White House in their place from other outlets. It's not like those seats are just empty. And that's another thing she don't like. Has the hiring of former Fox News executive Bill Shine escalated the White House attacks on the press? The White House recently punished Collins for asking Trump questions during a pool spray. What the fuck? He was out of line. How does this even relate? All right, see, the thing is, he was inappropriately, wow. So, you get someone asking rude, unprofessional, and they get punished for it, and they're the victim. Sorry it took me a second, but I had to wrap my head around what they were trying to get at here. Like, because it's just so preposterous that it literally took me a second to go, no, they couldn't really be going in that direction with this. They really couldn't be doing that. Sure enough, they are. They really, well, I mean, the Hollywood Reporter gets read mostly by people in Hollywood, by these leftist actors and people in, you know, the representation side of things. I could see them actually getting away with this and having it fly with those types. This is a continuation of what's been going on. It's not the lowest level, but they're still sinking lower and lower. I don't think it's about Bill Shine. It's about the president. The buck stops with the president. If he allows it, or he sanctions it, or he calls for it, it all stops and starts with him. And he hasn't stopped it. He's perpetuating it when he goes to rallies. So Bill Shine is just following the leader. I mean, Collins gets punished. Wow. See, the thing is Bill Shine, they feel because someone was hired from Fox. I mean, this is fucked up. Fox News, a legacy media outlet, hiring someone who worked for Fox has hastened the attacks they're trying to push now. This is funny. Collins was inappropriately acting, as I said. He got payback for it. And I love this. So you people act, all right, with the age that you people are, if you acted like you did as children, your parents... Because we're talking back in the days of when they did spankings and smacking and shit like that. You'd be fucking black and blue for the way you've been acting, all of you. Your parents would have smacked you fucking senseless. You wouldn't be able to sit down and put your ass on anything for a week. And you're trying to blame Trump because he calls you out for it. This is so freaking pathetically sad. This is so fucking sad. Pay for your security, act like a fucking adult, and you won't have any problems. If she's following the president's marching orders, is fair to criticize White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders? All of the above. All of the above. She should be ashamed of herself for going out there, saying some of the things she said. She's tried to insult my intelligence, and it's not just my intelligence, the world's intelligence. They always have to go back and press-splain, mansplain the president after he says something. Say what you mean what you say. Words mean something, especially when you get to that level. Holy fucking shit, the bitch created her own fucking word for the press, her own cultural Marxist word for the left. They press-splain and mansplain. No, you got a woman explaining it to you, bitch. You don't like what's coming out of her mouth because she isn't towing the fucking feminist cultural Marxist line and sticking with your stupid bitch idea of how women should be. It's mansplaining. Or are you insinuating that Sarah Huckabee Sanders is a man in a dress? Because it's one of those two. Because she's there to represent the White House. What's coming out of her mouth, how she chooses to phrase things, that's on her. It's not mansplaining. And she shouldn't be ashamed of herself for going out there. You should be ashamed of yourself for how you've acted. That's what I don't get. Oh, well, I'm innocent. I didn't act a fool. I didn't ask a stupid question like, are you racist? And then get ridiculed for it. That was a poignant question. No, it wasn't. That was you playing your cultural Marxist identity politics. I'm black. I'm going to ask that question, and I'm going to do it because it's going to cause people's panties to get into a bunch. That's exactly why you did it. And I want to know where she's insulted your intelligence. When she states something and it counters the bullshit you're spewing, that is not an insult to your intelligence. What the insult to your intelligence is that you actually think that you spewing bullshit is going to fly, and as the press secretary, she's going to allow you to do so. You've insulted your own intelligence. They haven't insulted the world's intelligence, because calling you out and providing information and facts contrary to the narratives and lies that you're pushing, is questioning the world's intelligence. How so? Because they're too stupid to handle facts and truth? And with this whole press-splaining and mansplaining thing, it's fucking hilarious. They have said what they mean. They mean what they say. You're the ones who have not said what you meant or meant what you said. You've lied out your asses. I love the levels of projection that's going on here. We even tried to have a reset. I talk about it in my book. She baked a pie. I did not eat the pie. She tried to figure out where we went wrong, but she continues to berate me. We had dinner, trying to reset. It just went downhill. You act disrespectful to her. You talk out your ass. You push lies and propaganda in these press briefings. She calls you out on it and corrects you, and that's berating you. What the fuck are you talking about? That's calling you out because she's made you look a fool. That's berating you now? You didn't eat the pie. You weren't going to eat the pie. Although, it looks like you've eaten more than a few pies in your time, you chunky bitch. Jesus Christ. We even tried to have a reset. I expected her to bow down to me because I'm from the Fourth Estate and I'm special. And I thought she was going to kiss my ass and kiss my feet and kiss my ring. But she didn't. And now I'm upset. I mean, this is the type of shit that we got going on here with this. How long do you think Sanders will remain in the White House? Oh, I hear she's looking for an elegant exit. So I hear it's almost over. Sanders has denied reports that she's planning to leave her job. Well, of course, because she isn't. See, the left, they lie. They push this shit because, see, she's trying to make it sound like that Sanders is in this position that she doesn't want to be in because of the president. The only reason why she wouldn't want to be in the position she's in is because of people like this dumb bitch. People like that are in the legacy media. How often do you get approached in public these days? Oh, I get approached a lot. When I'm walking from my car, when I'm walking to my car, when I eat, anywhere I go. I mean, they have put a target on my head, and I don't know who's who sometimes. And it's an interesting dynamic. Translation. I've run my mouth. I've pissed off a lot of people. They want to confront me on it. And I'm going to blame someone other than myself for that. Speech has consequences. Just because you're a part of that Fourth Estate or that supposed Fourth Estate that you think you're in, that isn't actually a Fourth Estate, that isn't part of government, because of that, you think that you're above reproach and that you're above from being called out for your shit because, oh, I'm just doing my job. You're acting a fucking fool and people want to tell you that you're acting a fool. You deal with the consequences of your speech. You're concerned that people approaching you might be intending harm? I've had some people wait for me outside the White House. There is a concern now. I mean, I've had death threats. I've had craziness. So I've had a real concern, an honest, real concern. Do I have a bodyguard? Yes, I do. Am I paying for it? Yes, I am. And I think Sanders should have paid for it, especially if she's stirring it up with her boss. I did not sign up for this. I was just doing a job. No, you did sign up for this shit. The second you decided to be a sleazy, dishonest, fucking douchebag bitch because a guy got into the office that you don't like. You chose this. What you sow, what you reap. You decided to take action because the American people spoke and you did not like what they had to say. You did not like the fact that they put that man into the White House. And you decided to go all Trump deranged, which pissed off people, and now they want to call you out for it. Now they want to tell you how they feel about you. And now you want to play victim. And you want Sanders to pay for your security because you acted a fucking fool and got a lot of people, probably not even a lot of people. I don't even think, who the fuck, I didn't even really know who this bitch was until that whole ask a racist question was. And I mean, she's been in the press corps there for pretty much my whole fucking life. Or a good chunk of it. So, she's the one who painted the target on herself. Because no one knew who the fuck she was until she started running her fucking mouth. I mean, this is vile and disgusting. If you were just doing your job, in closing on this section here, if she was just doing her job, excuse me, she'd be reporting on the facts. She wouldn't be asking stupid questions like, "Are you a racist, Mr. President?" Seriously. In February 2017, you had a heated discussion in the White House with Omarosa Newman, your former friend. You also said that she had the confrontation taped and tried to besmirch your reputation. Are you surprised that her new book, Unhinged, has gotten as much attention as it has? Wow, they got to throw the Omarosa thing in because even though she's a discredited bitch, they got to hype her up because supposedly, you know, she's got this bug up her ass for Trump now and she could help them take down Trump. No, because anytime you can't make this up. People still don't like her, but they're willing to sit back and eat popcorn and watch them shoot at each other. Donald Trump and Omarosa shoot at each other. We don't want to see her called a dog, but the president, but we don't trust her. She has done a lot. She has done a lot of dirt, and people don't forget. Yeah. Which is funny that they would actually throw this in when they're trying to hype that up, but they are. I mean, because you can tell. Because they want to bring up this whole Omarosa thing, because they're trying to keep her in the public consciousness, because they're trying to get her book to sell. They're trying to get the lies in the book to be accepted as fact. And even, you know, all right, publicity is publicity, good or bad. Good press or bad press, it's still press. Omarosa said a long time ago that she'd never be poor again. And if this is her way to be big and grand so she won't be poor, so be it. She'll throw anybody under the bus to get $1 and to have herself shine. So more power to her. People will be around for the spectacle and she's providing a spectacle. So basically, I mean, what they're getting at is, what they're getting at here with this and putting this into the article is that, yeah, read it. It's entertainment. Because what they're figuring is people will read it, even if it's for the entertainment value, just to see how the crazy bitch spins a yarn, that some people might actually buy into that crap. It's that plain and simple. But Jeremy here is a real piece of fucking work, pushing this type of shit. I mean, he is definitely catering to their core target audience there with the Hollywood Reporter, being the agents and studio execs and others that work in the studios and at the agencies and Hollywood starlets and stars. I mean, they read this shit. So he's just helping to feed that Trump derangement syndrome and going, oh, look at the attack on the press. She had to get security. She chose to get security. She chose to make herself stand out and in the public, you know, put herself in the public spotlight. Because, like I said, for my lifetime, and I mean, I have tended to follow politics most of my life. I really never knew who the hell she was. No one did. She created the environment, but she doesn't want to accept responsibility for it. It's her fault that she needs security. If she didn't decide to be a lying propagandist bitch, she wouldn't need it. Or her perceived need of it. Because I honestly don't buy this she's getting death threats crap. I really don't. So her perceived threat, her bullshit threat. But anyway, I think I've covered this well enough. I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.